Join me on your mat. Prop yourself up as you like. Cross-legged, back on the heels. But do try to find some stillness here as you close the gaze down or all the way. Stepping into the practice today, our January focus is witness yourself. And in our Wednesday 60-minute classes, we'll be fusing together a bit of yin with a flow. Yin is a slower held posture. There'll be 1 to 2 throughout each Wednesday class, with still that base being a nice steady flow for practice. Helping to draw us in, to quiet us down through the yin postures, and to see how that translates into the active flow and movement, allowing yourself to witness both ends of the spectrum. Couple more steady breaths here. Think belly rising, belly falling. Tuck your chin down to the chest. Lean right ear over towards the right shoulder and just pause there today. Nothing else added. Can you notice if your shoulders are still a bit drawn up, and can they relax just through focus, attention, and breath? And then go back chin to chest. And left ear over to the left shoulder. Pausing there, can you relax the shoulders a bit? Maybe your tension comes more in clenching through the jaw. Relax, teeth away from one another. And then chin back down to the chest and slowly lift the head and open your eyes. Okay. Shift on your mat to all fours. Have props as available to you as you'd like. And once you find all fours, hands under shoulders as always, knees underneath the line of the hips. Dip down into just cow pose. Let your belly kind of fall soft and open. Tailbone more wide and up towards the sky. Melt in between the shoulder blades. And then look forward or even a little bit up. Wag your tail a little bit side to side so you're getting some movement, but we're mostly just staying in cow pose. Animal sounds optional. And then change to cat pose. Press down through the hands and the knees. Round, round, round through the back. Just hold cat pose. Drop the head, look towards your knees or even as much as towards the belly. Continue to lift navel into the spine, strengthening through the core as you get that wide stretch across the shoulder blades, moving, as we say, off the back or away from one another. And back to neutral. Turn the hands out so the fingers face the sides of your mat. Do little circles with the shoulders, upper body. Go in the opposite direction. Pause and then turn the hands again so that your fingers face back towards the knees. And rock a little forward and back here in the shoulders. Noticing the different tension through the wrist, forearms. Great stretch and strengthen here, but if it's too much, you want to be cautious to just turn your hands out to the side instead of all the way around. It can take some time to build into that full 180 turn. All right, turn the hands back around. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift up. Now I want to invite you to move a whole lot more. Pedal out the feet. Make pretty sweeping changes as you pedal from side to side here. Let your hips shift. Everything gets a little bit involved. And then from that pedaling, inhale and lift to the tips of your toes, heels really high up into the air. Bend your knees down low towards the line of the ankles, a bit like a bear crawl, but you're more extended with those hands way out from the line of the shoulders. Hold it right here. Feel the engagement in the core. Now press the thighs back as you straighten the legs. Oh, that's a big stretch in the upper body. That's what we're looking for as you stretch down the back of the heels as well. Heels towards the mat. Big full stretch. Take it in and out. Lower your knees to the mat here. They can be apart or closer together. Sit back in child's pose, hips to your heels. Opportunity to keep the hands out in front or wrap the hands palms up towards your feet and let your forehead go all the way down to the mat. Blocks can be used to prop underneath the forehead if you like a little more height. This, my friends, is our opening yin posture. I want you to stay here, breathe here. Yin postures are slow, held low to the mat. The outside picture might look quite simple often. Do not be deceived. This is the time to breathe in, through, and with a little bit of discomfort as the time passes. For me, the first discomfort that arises in yin postures is usually more along the lines of the mind getting really busy, not wanting to settle, not wanting to slow down. Perhaps it works for you like it does for me, as just a different challenge point. I put the focus with the breath as the constant movement of exercise to be okay with the slowing down. The next points of discomfort might arise in the joints. Are you too heavy in your feet, ankles, knees, hips here? You're not stuck. Feel free to change a bit. Keep altering. Maybe it's a little lift in the hips. More help with the hands forward rather than back. We slow down, we witness. Hold that discomfort for a little bit and notice how we need to change or alter. Give yourself just a few more breaths here. If your hands are back, stretch them forward now into a more active child's pose. Come up to fingertips, that nice, strong, long stretch. Walk your hands over towards the right side. Walk the hands across the center over to the left side. And back to the middle. Rise up to all fours. Now the movement of cat and cow, just back and forth. Your rhythm, your flow, your pace. Change to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep bend in your knees and walk your feet forward to the front edge of the mat. Hang over, heavy and ragdoll. Hold the elbows, sway a bit side to side. So nice. And inhale, come all the way up as you do. Reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra, peel the chest. Down dog, lift the hips up and back. Take the right leg up into the sky for three-legged dog. Then pull the knee to the chest and hover forward. Stay right there, shoulders right over the wrist, and move the right knee out towards the right side. Lift like that fire hydrant pose and back in. Try it 2 more times, just like that. Out and in, out and in. Step the foot all the way through into your low lunge. Lift the back thigh 2 inches higher than you already have. Stretch out from hips to head. And then add revolve twist, right hand up to the sky. Friends, here a little flow on an exhale. Lower your left knee and reach your right hand back towards the back end of the mat. Inhale, lift the back knee, hand back up to the sky. Just like that for 3 more breaths. Lower the back knee and reach back. Notice the little different access point. Up, reach back. And up. 1 more time with the breath. And up. Lower the right hand beside the right foot. Step plank pose. Down to the mat. Reach your hands back now, palms up to the sky. Lift everything that you can up. Shalabhasana. Lower it down, reach the hands forward. Superhero, lift. Lower down, hands behind the head, knees bend, lift. Press the inner edges of the feet together. Elbows can go forward to make that a bit more doable. Lower down, none of it easy. Press back to child's pose. Breath in, breath out. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Try it all on the second side. Lift the left leg high, 3-legged dog. Pull the knee to the chest, hover forward. Remember, hold here. Nice option would be bottom knee down while we lift, left knee out to the side and in, twice more, out to the side and in, and out to the side and in. Step the foot all the way through. Lift the back thigh just slightly higher than you had started to. Little more access and room at the higher end here. And then take left hand up to the sky. Exhale, lower the back knee, reach the hand towards the back edge of the mat, and lift up. Remember, a little too high to go all the way knee down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. And lower. As you lift up, cartwheel the hand back through. Set it on the side of the left foot and step back to plank. Lower to the mat. Those 3 belly down back bends again. Hands behind you, lift. Lower it down, hands forward. Anytime the progression of the hands, lift up, doesn't work, do the thing that came before. They're all progressive. Hands behind the head, bend the knees, lift. And lower, press back to child's pose. In just a couple of breaths, try to breathe into that yin space that we had in child's pose earlier. Let it come back. And then we change, downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands. Make your move forward, a step, a jump, or a walk. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And palms together, center of your chest. 2 breaths right here. Lift the arms up to the sky. Place palms together. We go into our crescent reach. Hands to the right. Press your hips to the left. Either direction doesn't really matter. We'll go both sides. And come across the center. Up and over, lean. Yeah, beautiful. Back to the center. Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Keep going. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down. This is Cobra. Bhujangasana. Lift the shoulders. Up and back. Change to downward facing dog. Starting again on the right side, lift the right leg up into the air, 3-legged dog. Pass it all the way through to the low lunge and walk your hands up to your front thigh. Twisted lunge, palms together. Take the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Can take some extra shaping time there. Remember that nice strong lift of the back leg can help keep us broad across the low back, so this twist feels more doable and just feels better. As you untwist, keep the weight more forward in the right foot so that you can square back heel down to the ground, spin the back heel down, and then come all the way up to Warrior 2. And in that transition upright, push the weight more into the back leg to make it easier to bend into the front knee. Bend and straighten maybe a couple of times. And go right elbow to the knee, left arm palm down overhead, side angle. In your side angle here, try this. Like somebody sucker punched you in the belly, get a little stronger in the abdomen, hold that squeeze of the inner thighs, and then you take your right hand to the left. It's like your crescent pose there, leaning to one side. Hold it for one breath more, that's a lot. And then look down at the right foot and come into your low lunge. Soften back knee down to the mat and just kind of hang heavy and forward here in your lunge for a moment. As I mentioned, adding those bit of yin postures through this month. It'll be more like 1-2 minute holds versus if you go to a full yin focused class, you might be here for 7 minutes. Ooh, right? Dragon pose is that heavy settling of your low lunge. Let the back knee take some weight. Let the front foot take some weight. Heavy sigh out through the breath. Pause, pause, pause. It's okay not to rush ahead. And shift your hips back towards your heels. Straighten the right leg into a runner's stretch here in the hamstring. Really nice. Circle the leg around to all fours and stretch to downward facing dog. Second side, lift your left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. And step it all the way through to your lunge. Walk your hands up to the front thigh. And again, that back leg, rather than letting it sink down low, try to lift it up a little bit higher, broaden across low back and hips to make a little more space to get into the twist. It can also help with balance, keeping that back knee higher. Elbow to the outside of the thigh, kind of pad through the upper arm bone a couple of times to get your secure hold and twist. Palms together, point the left elbow up to the sky. You've got this. Untwist, lean your weight a little forward into that front leg so that you can spin back heel down, planted heavy, and heavier as you come all the way upright to warrior two. Keep getting that weight into the back leg by shifting weight in and out of the front leg a couple of times. Good, and then stay in your lowest form. Broaden the front knee closer to the pinky toe side of the foot. Good, shoulders still leaning more back towards the right leg than the front. That's it, that's it. Side angle, elbow to knee. Now you get to reach over. Long, full reach to the top arm. Okay, that little sucker punch to the belly. Oof, get a little stronger in the abdomen and send your left hand to try to clap to the right and reach. Belly strength, leg strength, right there, you've got it. And look down at the front thigh, drop the hands either side of the front foot, lower the back knee. Here's your heavy hang forward. Surely you could put blocks under the hands here for dragon pose, this yin look at our lunge. Another easy option is just hands to the inside of your foot. I always welcome and want you to find the ways to struggle less and feel good in the poses. For me, it's often as simple as close the eyes. It's not about what's going on around you. Bring it more inward. That is a gift of this practice. And shift your hips back, straighten the left leg, get into a little hamstring stretch there. And around to all fours. Downward facing dog. Look to your hands. Make your way forward to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Utkatasana. Here in chair pose, go back to the twist. Palms together, left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. It's feeling a little closed off for me right now, so I'm going to stay higher up without catching the thigh. Feel free to do the same, or take that close of elbow to the outside of the thigh. Give it one more breath. Untwist, stand all the way up for a half a breath, and then go right back down. Twist to the second side, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, hovering or locked across. Try to keep the knees in about the same line, which keeps the hips shifted at the same space as well. Untwist, inhale, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Keep the hands up, palms together, lean again towards the right. Push the hips a little bit forward and off to the side. Yeah. Come back to the center. Now you're going to that same direction again, but hold on. Right forearm behind your head so that you have a little bit more in the upper body to press back into and lean over a second time. Come back to the middle. Whew, I find that so hard. Okay, let's go to the other side. Palms together. So straight arms first. That head doesn't have as much to lean into. And then let's check out the difference. Come upright, left hand grabs upper arm bone, and you press your head into your left forearm, and then lean again. Good, good. And back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Now, keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back. Come all the way upright into your high lunge. Arms overhead. This time we're going to hold right hand to the left wrist. We do this fairly often enough, and lean over to the side. Imagine that you still have your forearm behind the head, though, to lean back into. Sometimes I take this lean more forward. I'm trying to stay more back here, upright and back. And then come to your center. Exhale, fold fingertips down to the floor in low lunge. Hold it for a breath just to release. We're going into twisted triangle pose. Pavrita Trikonasana. Step the left foot a little closer in. And then spin back heel down, 2 straight legs. Bring the hands to your waist. So here's the trick today in reasoning. Visualize that you're still kind of lifting your head back and up into a forearm. Stretch your left arm out in front of you. Now add the twist, turn the torso more towards the right side. As you do that, drop the left hand down either side of your foot or underneath a block. And right hand up to the sky. Can you still imagine the back of your head leaning into your forearm, letting the head push back more to actually get a little tiny bit of notice difference through the torso. Ooh, not easy. Come out of the pose. Go into a super low lunge. Drop the back knee down. Lift both arms up to the sky. And lower the hands. Find plank pose. Plank pose. Lower to the mat, cobra, and downward facing dog. For the sake of similar entry, we'll step all the way forward here, and then get into the second side. Leave the left foot forward and step your right foot back. Hands to the waist, lift the torso. And lift the arms. So remember, a little more presence and power in the back leg often helps keep balance and focus. Hold on, left hand to the right wrist and lean to the left. Imagine your head is pushing back into the imaginary forearm. Keeping long torso, long side bend. It comes back to the center, lower the hands down either side of the front foot. And you shorten the stride just a little bit. Biggest, I'm just gonna call it a mistake here, is to shorten that back foot in a lot. It makes the pose actually harder, so it's just a little bit of a shorter stance. Back heel down, turn the toes in a lot. Then hands off the floor to get the legs straight. A lot of folks take that shorter stance thinking I could keep my hands down, but just lift your hands up so that the legs can go straight. I know it's hard, push through that back heel. All right, right hand goes out in front. Think of the twist we did here, locking elbow to the outside of the thigh, and add the twist first. Right hand is still reaching forward, forward, forward. Now you have your twist, drop the right hand down to block or floor. Either side of the foot works. Keep that long length of your spine. Send the left arm up to the sky. Instead of looking down, lean your head back to keep the long spine. More towards your right side. And we slowly unwind. Lower the right knee to the ground. Inhale, lift up, arms to the sky. And lower the hands either side of the front foot. Step it all the way back to plank. To the mat. Cobra. Oh, and greet that slow child's pose again. Breathe here, get heavy, release the expectation. No worries about what's next. You are here now. Come back to all fours. Perhaps some good news for you. We're going to stay lower to the mat for the last 20 minutes of practice here. Pigeon pose. Point the right knee towards the back of the right wrist, heel towards the left hip. Walk the left leg further back, keeping the hips square to the front. Walk your hands towards either side. Feel free to use props to help. Make the hands lighter if possible, so it's a strong squeeze of the inner thighs. They're taking more of the weight here. If the hands are all the way free, lift them up to the sky. Palms together if possible. Still with me, can you press through the back knee enough that you can actually bend the knee and pull the heel in towards the body? Now, hands, imagine reaching all the way back, holding on to your foot. Visualize the pose. Release the back toes, release the arms. Go to sleepy pigeon, all the way forward and down. Sleeping pigeon. You can even let the hips kind of shift and roll more towards the right leg here. We'll be here a moment. To make this more doable in the yin world, I often even bend the back knee and allow the back heel to kind of fold in. It's almost more of an S sit in the body, or a Z sit, some will say. So you can really be wrapped down onto the front thigh. Again, witnessing the discomfort, giving it a few breaths to see, can the breath help? Can how I frame this pose in my mind help? Do I need to move and alter my body to help? Use those witness points. And then ever so slowly roll yourself or lift yourself out of the pose. I say roll because maybe falling towards that right side feels best. But adjust yourself back to all fours. Rock the hips a little forward and back each way. Always feels good in between. Second side, bring your left knee towards the left wrist. Remember, it's nice active pose to begin with, and then we go towards the sleepy yin pose. Heel towards the opposite hip, walk the right knee back. Now here you're staying super engaged, a little taller off of the mat with the hips and legs, hands to the side, torso upright. And the first stage looks a lot like Anjaneyasana, that lunge where we have the back knee down, arms up. Big heart opening pose, lift the arms up. And that's a great stopping point, I'd say, for many of us. If you want to go towards this greater challenge, I'm actually pushing more concentration down through the back leg to make this stable so that it can hold as I bend the knee and pull the heel in. To make balance easier, you might take one hand to find that bottom leg. Or keep both hands up, bend at the elbows, and imagine the magical line that connects feet and hands. I see it in fancy Instagram posts, but nothing my body will do, and that's just fine. Release and find your sleepy yen pigeon pose. I've done some yen training, but I'm definitely not an aficionado, but I believe in the yen world. Sleeping pigeon is called swan pose, which sounds so much more lovely, right? A sleeping swan here. If the visualization works for you, let it really relax you. Slow down the breath, slow down the heart rate. Tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. And again, when you're ready, slowly shift your way back to all fours. No one way to get there. Find all fours, move the hips around. I'm all for this combo of slow, fast, in between. It's how my home practice usually looks. Okay, downward facing dog. Down dog. We are going to come back up to a big standing pose one more time. Look towards your hands. Take your time to walk forward. And as you stand, lift the arms up to the sky. Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive down. Still finding that beautiful visual. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra. And down dog. Just this simple movement from plank to dog, simple but strengthening, especially here at the back end of class. Come forward to plank. On the exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll do it one more time. Come forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Changing to Malasana at the back end of your mat. I actually want you to take your feet as wide as your sticky mat. If you use a block in Malasana, as you walk your hands back, grab your block so you can sit on it. Otherwise, turn your toes out, heels in, and set your seat down as low as it goes, hovering above the ground with your feet flat still. Palms together. Lift the torso. Can you close your eyes or turn your gaze low? Put the breath into the pieces of the body that feel really good and steady here. Imagine balling up that great steady energy and pressing it into the hips, the knees, wherever in the body needs a little bit more help. For one more breath. And then you get to come all the way down to a seat. Catch yourself however is best and stretch your legs out. Right? Flex the feet, point the toes up. Lift the arms to the sky so you're forming an L shape as much as you can. Remember that sense of pushing your head back into the forearm? You could even hold both of your elbows and push your head back into it right here. Not even having to visualize, but actually doing. And I want you to keep that sense of a long spine, but hinge forward at the hips. So for some, that might mean changing the angle like 5 degrees. For some, it might be 10, 15, 20 degrees before you notice that you have to start rounding and arching the back. I want you to stop right at that point where you feel like you can stay absolutely at your most lengthened. Do that extra gut punch again. And then do you have like 2 more degrees that you can fold over? It's a lot of work. And then let it all go. Relax down and over, round the back. Maybe even let the toes turn out to the sides a little bit. Give up on all of that control and steadiness. Oh my goodness, one of my hardest things. And just let yourself be, let it go. You're not supposed to do anything else. Just fold in. Feel free to stay there a little longer. It might feel really nice, but as you are ready, I want you to switch to lie all the way down onto your back. Pull the knees into your chest. Rock a little from side to side. Take the hands out to a T shape and let your knees fall over towards the right in a supine twist. Stretch your left leg straight. I'm hoping you have enough room there. You can switch yourself on your mat so that you can. Stretch your top leg straight and try to have the right hand catch pinky toe side of that foot. So you extend, extend, extend through the leg. Think of reaching your head up longer towards the top edge of your mat so that your torso is having to do that same twisted variation as we do in twisted triangle. And then release the top leg and pull the knees across the center. Let them fold over to the second side so it starts in that familiar supine twist. And as we know, since everything is progressive, you can take this form and stay with it. That next ask was stretch the right leg straight and try to have your left hand hold on to the outer edge of the foot. Nice IT band stretch there. And then can you grow a little bit taller, noticeably or not? Oh, but hopefully feeling it from the inside, from the base of your hips all the way up to the crown of the head. Release the right shoulder closer to the mat. Nice twist in the upper body with the stretch in the legs. Job well done. Release and pull the knees back into the chest. You choose here a nice tight squeeze or take it to happy baby. A little bit of both. From there, soles of the feet down to the mat, arms, goalpost, goddess form. Have the feet as wide as the mat so we can do our little windshield wipers. As you drop the knees from side to side, they should never come in contact with the other leg. Just like windshield wipers on the car, always just enough space to bypass each other. From here, if there's any last extra unwinding you'd like to do, another yoga pose, fit that in. From your last pose, you're unwinding. The most important yin posture at all, finding Shavasana. It's the picture of Shavasana that really does bring you comfort and ease. So whether that's lying back, on your side, a seated position, find your way. For me, one of the positive aims of the practice of witnessing is that when I step back and notice, I indeed always see the source of light and hope. When I drew my inspiration card this morning, it says, "Hope is the conduit for miracles." As ready, if you're lying back, come back to a comfortable seat. The mantras, the intentions that I use in the hub are, of course, always drawn from my personal experiences. In this opening month of 2022, asking us to just take witness I noticed last month when I slowed down enough, when I took a little retreat for myself, I stopped complaining about the left hip that I'd been having trouble with for the last 6 months. I started breathing into it, just kind of standing back from how to fix for a few minutes, a few moments. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I really couldn't sit in this cross-legged seat for much of the last 6 months. And really just stepping back a little bit. It's taken its time. It's wound its way through. I'm feeling quite good to sit in cross-legged seat. But I think it was much more about the stepping back, the witnessing that let some healing start to come in, some hope, some miracle. I hope in offering this, you find those moments and places you can thread in some light. Okay, let's close us out for today. Palms together, thumbs to the sternum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Take a breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Much gratitude to you, each other, this practice. Namaste. Okay, my friends.